the northern coast of Australia near Darwin, and I'm flying via Timor to one of my favorite islands in Southeast Asia. It's Bali. You can see it, that's a flat part of Bali. There's Kuta Beach and all these places where most tourists go, but Bali is much more to me than these beaches. In the interior, it's very volcanic, very steep mountains. I climbed Batu, a mountain, been through there. But I want to reflect a little bit on this island. First time was in the 90s. I've been there in Chandidasa and I've stayed in some palm huts. And this is the second time staying at a middle-class hotel. And even the middle-class hotels are beating our upper-class hotels. That's what I think. If you go to first-class hotel, it's incredible what they do there. It's not this Dubai thing. It's much more nicely done. But Bali is about religion, it's Hinduism, ancient form of Hinduism, and it's about art and music and nature and the combination of all. And these people are so sophisticated, I think. Once you get into it and try to understand, I met people who doing yoga there, living for 10 years, and even they don't really understand what's going on. I think they got the feeling that we are barbarians, but they're much too gentle to show it to us, yes? Don't forget that, don't forget that when you're there as a tourist. For me, it's not a pure touristic place. It's also a nature place, and diving is really world-class there. That's from Padambai. We've been out diving there. I've seen some very nice sharks also there. And also wreck diving at the northern east coast. That's Padambai, I think. From there you can go by ferry to Lombok. I've been also there at the Gillies and been to Banco, driving a little motorcycle over the island. And Mount Rinyani. This is wreck diving. So you got an impression of that, but also that is not what Bali is about. In my opinion, it's mainly religious, and out of that, the arts. You see the temples here, and this is Balinese gamelan music. And I studied music, European music of course, and I don't get it. It's so complex and complicated. These are two virgin ladies who are in trance and doing synchronicity. They do synchrone movements, not seeing each other. And they get a little glimpse of what is possible with humans on this planet if you still have this sort of spirit. These guys are doing, even children, complex works. You don't have a hook line or something, you don't have this straight rhythm. They are memorizing over hours the most complex stuff I ever heard in my life. This is so incredible. I know that Simon Rattle from the Berlin Philharmonic Orchestra those days, he's been there one day before, and I talked with those guys and he was also very fascinated by that. And you can study that at Denpasar. You can go studying it, and we did it at our university. We also had a gamelan ensemble, but it's very, very complex and hard to understand for Europeans with our Eurocentristic socialization. Also by hearing our harmonies and our scales, it's totally different. But absolutely fascinating. And the point that I really got into that was when I was invited at the start of the 90s by the founders of the Green Party in New Zealand. They were frequently in Bali, and they took me along to a little village in the interior. And that what you've seen just was more touristic, but in the interior they did an inauguration rite for young guys, and the whole village was there. And I've seen scenes I could never have imagined before, how people get into trance, transfer themselves into animals. Even an old lady, 90 years old, became a dog and was barking, and then they were walking over fire, and it was not touristic. I had to put on a sarong there and be quiet. And I personally At that moment, I understood gamelan. You get into this trance and get a feeling that's so deeply buried in our European culture. I think we had that centuries ago. People were that metaphysical, but this is still alive on Bali. And they are so strong culturally through that they really would kill themselves instead of giving away to other cultures. Well, please try to Google Puputan, Puputan, that the Dutch colonialism were in there, and people preferred one Raja and whole village. There were did mass suicide before giving in and losing their culture to these Dutch invaders. It's very interesting to read these stories, and then you understand how strong culture and religion can be to people. Don't underestimate that. There are several causes on this planet. One is on Dominica, where the Caribs went down the cliffs before the giving in to the British. And you know these Japanese families jumping down the cliffs before giving in to the Americans. So when we talk about culture and integration, don't underestimate how powerful and how important culture is to people. They're doing this temple life and sacrificing every day. There's something going on, and it's absolutely fascinating. I really love Bali, and these 7 minutes here is nothing. This is Kecak, also very nice. And when you are there, please don't just go to the beaches. Read what's going on there. This is a firewalk, and what is possible even in trance, and that it's not for the tourists. It's part of their identity, and it's so strong, and I really love that about these people. They have an identity, they have culture, they are totally spirited and so talented when it comes to nature and art. You see this here everywhere. This was at the little village I've been. I don't show these photos, this is too private. Thank you.